A lot of people may have heard about Jackie Chan making movies and being in the hospital all the time and all these injuries and all the sacrifices that make. I live it actually, so I mean I can be proof of that. I mean I'm not as gung ho. I wouldn't dare say I'm as crazy as those guys, but and then film technology is a little bit different now. But I think I've been to the hospital after each one of my movies. I think at least once or twice. I mean, usually it's thank God it's nothing too serious, but there's always going to be certain injuries. It's like when you're playing a physical sport, playing football or any kind of sport, anything physical. Making action movies is very similar. So a lot of trips to the hospital sometimes are required. Yeah. So I've been in Asia for quite a bit. I grew up here in America, having this dream, wanting to go back and make kung fu movies. Because, my father and my mother used to go to Chinatown, rent VHS, tapes. I don't know if the audience knows what that is. It's a cartridge with a movie in it. Anyways, but we used to rent those things. And I remember watching Drunken Master, the first one, over and over and over again until the tape was worn out. I remember when I was making Once Upon a Time in Shanghai, Yun Changyan, one of the Yun Woo-ping's brother. Yun Woo-ping's brother. He's a really good man. We're filming, and he was reciting lines from that movie. And I think I finished every line he was reciting because I remember that movie so much. So being able to work with these guys and making these movies is surreal. But like every journey has a beginning. When I moved back for the first year, not a lot was going on. I think it's like entering any kind of entertainment business in any country. I was the foreigner, even though I was Chinese. I grew up in the States. So things were a little bit difficult for me, but after meeting certain people, kindness of certain people in the industry, I eventually made it in to do my first real gig. I did a few gigs before that, but I considered this my very an important gig in my career. It was the first time I was the assistant action and action choreographer, martial arts choreographer for a movie called Star Runner. It's there where I first joined the Qin Galok stunt team. It was my real initiation into a stunt team, an actual movie stunt team. And on that movie was my two best friends, Andy On and Vanessa Wu. These two gentlemen, they were the stars of this movie. I was a stuntman and an assistant choreographer. There's a funny story. Not only did I get to meet these two gentlemen who later on in my career I would work a lot with, there was a very memorable near-death experience that I went through on my first film. So there was a shot where Andy On would throw Vanessa Wu onto a mat. They were like it was a boxing movie. It was like a kumite kind of like martial arts competition type movie. So there's a scene where Andy has to throw Vanessa over his shoulder, and Vanessa would have to do 1.5 spins and land on his face. So I was the lightest guy on the stunt team at the time, so I would double for him. And to do the shot, what they did was Andy would pick me up, but they would wrap a metal wire around me, wire work, You hear a lot of Hong Kong movies talking about this. So it wraps around me between my legs and around my shoulder once. So as Andy throws me, the stuntmen pull the wire, and I would spin 1.5 times and should be landing on my face, flat down. So boom, boom, bam. Simple, nothing, crazy or difficult. But usually when on a stunt that's not crazy or difficult, a lot of certain accidents might happen. But, it was due to my inexperience and also, but the experience of the stuntmen saved me. So what happened was my seniors told me, well, make sure you turn your head before you land on the ground. You don't want to land on your face flat out, And I'm like, oh, that's good advice. And I took it. But anyone who does, gymnastics or knows how to flip around in the air, wherever your head goes is where your body goes. When you jump in the air, you flip, wherever your head goes, your body goes. So I turned my head a little bit too early. So long story short, I was tumbling in the air. My body was tumbling in the air, and the wire caught around my neck. A more inexperienced wire crew would see that, and they might hold on to the wire and make sure the guy doesn't fall. But they're pretty experienced, and I'm still friends with these guys, and they let go. So, bam! I slam on the ground. I'm out. And I remember opening my eyes, and I see everyone standing over me. No one's touching me. I felt something on my neck, and it was the wire, and it was wrapped around quite a few times. I took it out, and then the stuntman, like, he's like, oh, everyone's like, oh, what happened? What happened? We all knew what happened. We all knew kind of what happened. But then the boss, the head of the team came over. Team Garlock, the head of the team came over, and he didn't give us time to be nervous. He's like, what are you doing? We're Hong Kong stuntmen. Get up. Let's go. You know, he didn't give you a chance to get scared, right? Because if you start getting scared, like it's like if you mess up once, you choke once, you have to do it again. There's a chance of you messing up again. But he didn't give you that chance, you know. So immediately I got back on the wire. We did the stunt again, and I was okay. But that was a pretty close call. So, you know, I got to thank the experience of the stuntman that didn't let me die.